Featured speakers this evening. James has left the building, succumbed to the heat, so I'll be taking over some MC responsibilities for a moment, and then our very own Faith will be doing some later as well. This Spofest event was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, and just pulled together. There were some people in town and some readers available, and we said, what the heck, let's go, let's do this. And we checked the weather and found that today was going to be the hottest day of the year. Why not? Why not? I'm going to introduce our first speaker this evening, Tony Shaffer. Is that right? I got that right? And Tony, since I don't have a bio, I'm going to let you guys kind of introduce yourselves and give your own bio if you don't mind. Very good. Everybody, Tony Shaffer.
Well, thank you, and I'd like to thank James for inviting me to be a part of this event, as always, and I have a good time when I come here and read with y'all, and when you all come to Warrensburg, too. My bio is, short version, I was from Sedalia, I learned to play guitar, I got out of town, wandered around, still do that. Ended up in Warrensburg. I teach at the university there, teach writing and thinking and other stuff that I have fun doing. And I'm going to read you some things tonight. I'd like for you to know that I am never, ever completely 100% serious about what I read. This is, to put a DVD-type disclaimer on here, the opinions I express tonight are for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken seriously. And I thought I would talk about some of the most poetic, uplifting topics I could think of. Things that, raise our spirits, like copyright, and censorship. And if we have time, I'll delve into pornography. If we don't have time for that, I will be sure to post it on the internet for you. First, copyright. Just so you knows where I'm going here, I like to think I own my words, but actually that's not true. I like to think I own particular combinations of words in my own style, but that might not be true either. Changes in copyright with the help of the DMCA have confused me about what I actually do own, what I can or can't do, and whether I even own something I really thought I created myself. I checked with experts, read books, tried to read the law, and then I realized that something has really changed. I thought these laws were to protect those who create stuff, but I finally found out that they protect those who own stuff. And I don't own words, and you don't either. For a while there, if you invented something or wrote words or created some kind of thing, you owned it. These days, not so much. That confused me until I learned to understand Business 101. Business 101. For a while there, it was like this. This person sold something and get paid for it, and this other person bought it and would own it. Yes, that was considered good business for a while there. And phrases like the customer is king and the customer is always right were on the table. And the biggest warning to customers was caveat emptor, let the buyer beware, because we wanted the customer to get what he was paying for. But imagine a world in which business as usual is more like this. The seller gets to keep what's being sold and sell it again and again, and the strongest warning to the customer is you don't really own that thing, you just bought, so don't go doing stuff with it. How can that be, you might ask? And I'd say it's a return to the historical and traditional world mode of Business 101, going back to the ideas that made this world the place it is. The world's oldest profession was based on this historical business model. In that particular enterprise, someone could still sell something and still own it, and sell it again and again. What a wonderful world for sellers. But how do we get folks the idea to buy into the idea that this is good after they've actually thought they owned something for a while? That's easy. We make the new business model the law of the land. And then if a customer does something that interferes with the bottom line, we just pop them in the back of the head with the Louisville Slugger registered trademark, which is the method Al Capone used in his business meetings. Al, by the way, is the guy who, as far as I know, coined the phrase, I'm a businessman. Al understood caveman logic and its place in modern business. Don't like, then clobber. But we're more modern than that, so our clubs are metaphorical. We threaten people by telling them we'll clobber them with jail time and huge fines for violating our new laws. I truly think someone should look into buying the rights for the Louisville Slugger registered trademark and use it for the logo on a little warning we sit through before watching a movie. It's a pretty logical connection when you think about it, because those feds who used to chase Al Capone now seem to be working for him. Oh, you may still be under the impression the laws are designed to protect those who create stuff, but hey, they deal with that too. Here's how it works. If you create stuff, when you sell it, you sell the rights to the stuff. People who bought your stuff and the rights to it can sell the stuff but still own the rights. Simple. If you're lucky, the people who buy the stuff you create might just let you keep owning a little bit of it, but I wouldn't count on it. Well, sure, that seems like a change, but I look at it as a simple flip of an egg. Instead of sunny side up, all our eggs are going to be over easy. If you thought being creative was always going to be sunny side up, get ready to be flipped into hot grease. And by the way, if you think being a creator has some kind of overarching claim to ownership, let me point out that folks are now buying and selling rights to DNA. Just because you create something does not mean you own the rights to it, you know. Let's review the principles of Business 101. What we have is a return to the principles that made business great. We have the original business model of selling something and owning it to sell again. We have Al Capone to enforce the business model with the Louisville Slugger registered trademark. And just because you created something does not mean it's yours. Remember, in that earliest business model, you expected to be screwed and maybe even clobbered. And now we've made that into law. Thank you. Y'all want to hear some more fun copyright stuff? Woo. Thank you. Y'all want to hear some more fun copyright stuff? All right. With enthusiasm like that, I'll just keep going. Okay, you all are familiar with the Beatitudes, I'm sure, right? Blessed are those who, etc., etc. All familiar with the Beatitudes? Okay. We've got a new quasi-religious model going on with the internet. We now have a thing where you can make a commitment by clicking on something, which involves signing away certain rights that you might have, or agreeing to principles according to something. It's called an End User's License Agreement, EULA, EULA. And if you click on a EULA, you have just signed a contract with a simple click of your mouse. And so I think people need to know a little bit more about the EULA. And I thought I would do it in a form of expressed belief. So instead of the Beatitudes, I decided to write the Eulatitudes. Blessed are those who understand copyright. Blessed are those who follow the rules of the DMCA. Blessed are those who understand paying for something they will never own. Blessed are those who own a copyright. Prosecuted are those who think they own what they bought. Prosecuted are those who fail to read and understand the Eulatitudes. Prosecuted are those who think the rules are the same as yesterday. Prosecuted are those who circumvent purposeful inconvenience. Screwed are those who buy a defective product. Screwed are those who find the products are defective by design. Screwed are those who do not make the rules and cannot change them. Screwed are those who don't have a damn good lawyer. Doomed are those who consume without owning. Doomed are those who want to make something similar but better. Doomed are those who once had the freedom to create on an existing foundation. Doomed are those who may try to do anything we haven't thought of yet that we might not think of for a while, but we want to put it in here anyway, so we're covered in the case you think of that first. Abandon all rights, ye who click here. Thank you. I've had people tell me I find more humor in copyright than they thought was humanly possible. Okay, I'm going to go on into censorship from there. I'm trying to watch the time. I think we're doing 10 minutes, and we didn't start at 7, so I don't know what time I started. That was just talking. Now I'm doing the poem, for those of you who need to know the difference. The first line is, I'm just talking, but this is a poem. My poetry is prose poetry, which involves putting words together in the natural rhythm of spoken language. Sometimes people say, I can't tell when you're reading a poem and when you're just talking. I smile and say, thank you. Okay, now that was a poem, but now I'm just talking. The title of the poem was I'm Just Talking, but now this is a poem. And I'd like to express my gratitude again for being invited here today. As an artist and human, I feel warm and fuzzy inside when I'm allowed the opportunity to express my sensitive poetic soul, blah, 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 blah. But normally I express myself with as much obscenity as humanly possible, cursing and swearing all I can. To me, it's a substitute for punctuating my writing with an exclamation point. It's like talking in all capital letters. But sometimes we have children present, and so I censor myself. I tend to use ironic air quotes and bleeps to replace the words I can't or probably shouldn't say. And here's where you figure in. In this, I purposely included P words for power and projection as a pseudo pattern of punctuation of my perpetual pretenses using a microphone. This is not passive prose poetry, it includes participation. So while I'm doing this, I would like for you to make ironic air quotes along with me, and please bleep me whenever I say anything objectionable. What I mean is to say bleep, not actually bleep me. I don't want to inspire bad behavior. Anyway, as I do read this, please cover, if we don't have any here, but please cover the ears of children so they don't go around saying bleep, bleep, bleep gratuitously. And cover their eyes so they don't feel the urge to emulate air quotes in offensive and pointless ways just because they've seen us do that. The censorship thing, in a way, is sad because, like Anne Bradstreet, I feel my words are my children. I'd like you to receive them in a friendly way, take care in how you treat them, and send them home safe and secure. All my words, all my children, even the little dirty ones. I don't want my children to be shrouded in air quotes, surrounded by bleeps, wrapped up in someone else's dirty euphemisms. What's the most offensive string of words to me? Anything involving air quotes, bleeps, and euphemisms. I saw a comedian named Louis C.K. point out the most offensive word to him was the N-word, not the word it stands for, but N-W-O-R-D, because people use this euphemism with the word it stands for in the listener's head without taking responsibility for actually saying the word. I've added some letter words to that list. The A word, the B word, the C word, the D word, the F word. I couldn't think of an E word, but I'm working on it. If you have any suggestions, please send them in. Ironic air quotes. I don't much like censorship, and I don't like those who censor. So bleep the bleeping bleepers and bleep censorship. Bleeping isn't dirty. Bleeping is bleeping awesome. So bleep others before they bleep you. I believe that anyone involved in bleeping someone else's words shouldn't be allowed to use acronyms that put their thoughts in my head. Their acronyms should be something like BOOBAR, bleeped up beyond all repair, SNAP-BOO, situation normal, all bleeped up. So here's the thing. Maybe instead of being responsible only for the words we use, maybe we should take responsibility for the thoughts we put in other people's heads. Maybe we should say what we mean. I'd rather not have my head cluttered up with someone else's air quotes, bleeps, and euphemisms. That's just dirty.